Should you trust academic research? Stick around and let's chat about 4 key points on this debate today on this episode, Navigating Academia. What's up, everybody? My name is Dr. Phoenix Singh, and I want to warmly welcome you to this episode of Navigating Academia, your leading source for guidance on how to advance your career in academia. As always, I appreciate the love, so please do take a second to like and share this video with your friends, with your colleagues, with your students, and follow us on these social media accounts. A question that I get asked all the time, especially by folks who are not in the field, so especially by family members and friends who know that I'm a professor, they want to know, should I trust academic research? Is this something I should look into? Because oftentimes they're bombarded by, sexy headlines. I still remember my mother sending me one back when I was in college. So this was, like 15 years ago. And it said something along the lines of, like epidemiological study finds that the more water you drink, the more likely you are to die. And it's like, okay, great, right? Water's gonna kill me now too. It's like no matter what I do, I'm gonna die, basically. So, there's all these hexy headlines that people put out there to the point where the general populace gets kind of, into this eye-rolling state where they're like, oh, another scientific finding. Can I even trust this thing? So it is natural for people to wonder, especially members of the general community, should I even trust academic research? So I really wanna make 4 points here. So let's jump right in. Point number 1 is that most scientific knowledge is going to be based on peer-reviewed research, okay? I remember being an undergraduate and getting like my Psych 101 book, which was this book by Gazaniga and colleagues, and it was a neuroscience-based one, like reading through, and it was like blowing my mind, some of the stuff that I was reading about. Super cool. But then I got to grad school, and all of a sudden it became very clear that like everything in those books that was stated like a fact, like there's something in psychology called cognitive dissonance that this dude named Leon Festinger came up with. And it was just, the way it was presented was like fact. It's like, there's an effect, here's what it is, here's the definition, here's how you use it, this is why it's important. Boom, easy peasy, right? Not so much, because basically what came out in grad school was it was just like, well, this is a theory, it was tested in this series of studies, the studies have some methodological problems, other people have come along and questioned it, blah, blah, blah. It was so much more complicated. Part of me, wished that I could just live in fairy tale land of undergrad, believing that everything was just definitive and true, but that's not true, right? In fact, everything should be questioned. There's no such thing as a fact in science, there's only a postulate. Okay? A postulate is a theory that is accepted as fact. And we have to do that, basically, right? Because all of scientific knowledge basically has become scientific knowledge through the same process, which is, the experimenters do their thing, write the paper, submit it to an editor, the editor looks at it, says, sure, let's peer review it. Gives it to the associate editors, they send it to the editorial board. They conduct the peer review, say yes or no, send the feedback to the associate editor who says, hey, authors, make these changes. They make the changes, send them back. Associate editor says, bueno, looking good, send it back to the editor, gives the thumbs up, thing gets published in a journal, bam, there you go. That's how all of publication works, okay? It has served that gatekeeping mechanism. It was reviewed by your peers, hence it's peer-reviewed research, and hence it is accepted as scientific knowledge. It is that building block in the Lego house of the field. Consideration number 2 is that all experiments, no matter how they're conducted, they have a margin of error. It could be an infinitesimally small margin of error, but they have a margin of error, okay? And this is critical. This is, like I said previously, nothing is a fact, it's only a postulate. That's the furthest that we can get. This may frustrate the bejesus out of some people who say, no, they're irrefutable facts. And I would say that arguably, given how small the margin of error is, there could be arguably, right, irrefutable postulates, but I am not going to call them a fact because that would be anti-scientific to be able to do that. You have to take into consideration that anything where we're conducting science is going to have a margin of error. Consideration number 3 is that it's always important to evaluate the methodological strength of any experiment. Any paper that you read, if you read an abstract and it claims something, or especially if you go on to something like Huffington Post or somewhere online and it gives you a sexy finding like the whole thing about drinking too much water, first thing you should do before saying that's ridiculous or whatever, try to find and read the study. The likelihood is very high that they're misquoting the study, that they're getting something from the abstract, that they interviewed the study authors who gave them a little soundbite or whatever it is. Go to the methods section, read the methods section, see how they analyzed the data, see how they collected everything, how do they measure everything, did they use any instrumentation. Once you have a sense, you're going to be way more educated than virtually anybody else who's just going to believe whatever the headline is in terms of exactly what they found. And it's always going to be something where there'll be a ton of limitations and a ton of recommendation for future research. And it's never like, okay, we did the study, done. No need to ever explore this topic again or to cross-validate the finding. That doesn't happen. Right? No, instead, this is something where it should not only be hypothesis testing, but hypothesis generating as well. So don't trust just whatever these little pieces are saying. Really go back and kind of take a look into it. So, and that's another thing to, should I trust academic research? Well, it's really healthy to not trust academic research. If everybody just trusts everything that's said, you're going to end up with this groupthink phenomenon where everybody's super confident something's true, and that's not a good thing. You need a lot of doubt at all stages in the game. It's very important in maximizing decision-making efficacy. And the fourth point is that I want you to consider conflicts of interest. This could be, was there any funding for the study? This could be, were there any instruments that were used that were developed by the authors of the study? There's so many different options here for conflicts of interest. And I do think that it's very important to be able to evaluate those for a number of reasons. I mean, the most obvious is in psychopharmacology, right? So it's, if I'm the company, I make Zoloft, and then I pay money to some researchers to evaluate it, you're going to get more positive, significant results. This kind of stuff can be found all over academic research, and it's important to take into consideration. Does that mean that they necessarily did a bad methodological job? Well, pop back to the previous point. Who knows? Go evaluate the methodological strength. Maybe they did a great job, in which case, fantastic. Then we can kind of let that criticism go and kind of move on to the next potential. But it is very important that you not only look at the methodology, but you take a look at kind of who the study authors are and also what routine disclosures are they giving in that piece of academic research literature. All right, everybody, thank you so much for stopping by. It's nice to have you with us as always. Please do take a moment, like I said, to be able to like this video, share it with your friends, colleagues, and students, subscribe to the channel, and do us a big favor and leave a comment down in the comment section. It really helps us with the algorithm, so this way we can get the videos out to more people, so really appreciate it. If you're interested in one-on-one career consultation and mentoring with me, you're warmly welcome to be able to contact me, and we can talk about different kinds of academic research that are out there, how to be able to best evaluate them, including your own research, and how I would kind of be peer reviewing your work to be able to give you that feedback as well. So to be able to do that, simply go down here to this website below, sign up a 1-hour consultation call with me, and let's get cracking. All right, everybody, have a great day. I'm signing off. Remember to get out there, take chances, and be your best self. Thank you so much for stopping by, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you here as always. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more in this series on navigating academia, please click on one of these links over here to be able to view more original content. I hope to see you there.